Lagos, Nigeria. Good afternoon and welcome to Safety Train. My name is Taiwo Barua, and of course I'll be standing in today for Fayo Williams, who is unavoidably absent. Today on the program, we shall be delving into the world of female genital mutilation, that is FGM. Our focus is on community engagement, changing cultural perception of FGM. My guest is Eno Nicholas. Eno Nicholas is a dynamic, motivational, and inspirational speaker, a visionary entrepreneur, and the vice chairman of Substantial Global Women Network Limited, that's PGWN, renowned for her expertise in family leadership and youth development. Eno has dedicated a career to empowering individuals, strengthening families, and nurturing the next generation of leaders. Her passion for youth empowerment led her to become the global director of Priceless Jewels, that's PGWN, a transformative platform for teenagers designed to build character, discover talent, and secure a brighter future. All right, I can go on and on with her profile this afternoon, but I wouldn't want to take too much of her time. Let me welcome Eno to the microphone. Good afternoon to you, Eno Nicholas.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How are you today? It's good to have you.
Thank you. And how are you too?
Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. Looking at your profile, I mean, it is quite, interesting, and I have no doubt that you will be able to enlighten Lagosians on female genital mutilation. As a matter of fact, it is one practice that I can't remember the last time I heard of it, apparently, but to a reasonable extent, in this part of the world, I know that some people still need to be enlightened. All right, a quick look at what female genital mutilation is. What exactly is female genital mutilation?
Okay, thank you very much. Female genital mutilation is a procedure that involves partial or external removal of female genitalia or other injuries in the female genital organ, which is not medically based.
So, why do we even practice this in the first place?
The fact is, the origin is unknown. Although it has been said is based on pharaonic era, okay, but it has not been. There's no fact about that. They are still researching on that. And then you could ask why these things are being practiced. They will tell you that they believe that it requires a requirement of religion, and then is a right of passage to womanhood, which is, the uncut women are, they are being referred to as dirty, being dirty because they have not been caught. And then they believe that it saves money, and then is a pride to families that their girls have been caught. So, they are proud about that.
Let's talk about some of the repercussions of these acts, female genital mutilation.
Okay, the immediate impact is that it could lead to bleeding, and the person dies.
Okay.
Or injuries.
Okay.
On the private part.
Okay.
And then for the long-term repercussion.
Yes.
Yeah. Things, infertility. They will not be able to have children at the long run because of female genital mutilation, FGM.
Okay.
And then cyst, growth in the ovarian part of the body.
Okay.
And then, there's this...
when you say growth in the ovarian part of the body, what kind of growth are we talking about?
Growth, not as in cancerous.
Okay.
Which can be operated.
Apparently, I needed to be clear about that.
Yes, not cancerous.
Okay.
Yes, it can be operated.
Okay.
And then most of them, like I said before, they die. And then it's not something that they don't seek their consent before these things are being carried out. Some are being fooled, and then they will tell you, they will throw party and all of that, make you, happy. And then by the time they get there, it's a different story, it's a different ball game. And then there's a psychological effect to this problem.
All right, then. So let's talk about how community leaders and influencers can help change this perception about female genital mutilation, FGM.
Okay. Community leaders can help change because they have followers. If they keep talking about it, their followers online and in the community, they will know that this is a barbaric practice that shouldn't be done. And then influencers as well, with their followers, they can help this, help to curb all this menace in the society. And then again, there's this influencer, Mr. Hart Okwa of Ebonyi State. From Uhiasu community. He has worked with UNICEF and then the government in his community fighting against FGM, and then it has yielded tremendous result. Yeah, thank you for that. And then in Uhiasu community in Afikpo North, in Ebonyi State, they have zero tolerance to FGM as we speak. And then this other lady too, though she is a victim from Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, though she's based in France, she too is really fighting against this barbaric act. And then she's helping the survivors, through housing them and then surgery. So, and then this other, it is a little girl whose mother, that's from Burkina Faso, whose mother was a victim. So the mother has, educated her, advised her to, fight against this in Burkina Faso. And then she has been able to talk to other families, and they are beginning to withdraw from this act.
Aside from other African countries, let's talk about back home now. How much of policies, how much of implementation, how much of all of these have we done in terms of eradicating FGM? How much of enlightenment have we done, and how far have we gone?
That is because the enlightenment has not really been, done, and then it all boils down to government, because if the policies are being strict, most of these communities, they will back out from these practices. So although influencers are trying to do their best, fighting and then calling for help, calling for others to join hand to help out.
Are we saying now that there are no policies in place, to eradicate FGM in this part of the world, Nigeria, so to say?
Not really, because if it is, it would have been, the impact wouldn't have been much. Because I had a discussion with someone 2 days back, talking about this FGM, and then you'll be shocked that here in Oshodi, somewhere in Oshodi, it's still being practiced.
Oh, wow.
And the problem is right from birth. They do it from birth. As the child comes, it's been, the clitoris is being cut.
That's very close to the city center.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the problem.
Amazing. Lagos, the program is Safety Train here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Today on Safety Train, we are talking community engagement, changing the cultural perception of female genital mutilation. You're wondering who I have been speaking with. I have Eno Nicholas with me in the studio. And quickly, let's tell you what the roads are looking like. Control room, you can please push the report to the WhatsApp platform. Let's focus on the big screen in the studio. I did say earlier For those of you pulling out of the island, considering the third mainland bridge, you have free flow of movement all through the stretch from Yanawuru heading inward Ifako to connect Ogudu. And of course, all the way down to Alakwe, where it is still free flow of traffic. Underneath the bridge of Oshodi is still looking free at this time, just if you are wondering. I got a call earlier from a listener who talked about busy movement around Ojodu, Berger, that new garage. Awotola and Caleb, you can please send in your report to let us know the cause of a slow movement motorists are experiencing at this time, causing spillover backward is Sherilura. All right, let's continue with the conversation. And on Nicholas, I was going to ask you the role of education in all of this, in eradicating FGM, and how it can be effectively implemented.
The role of education, like I said earlier, I had a discussion with a woman 2 days ago. All this thing boils down to sensitization, letting people know, and then, the target should be to the rural areas where they don't really understand what is happening. So, because when I was, discussing with the woman, she was like, there's nothing bad about that. You can imagine that. So if, enough sensitization to the rural areas, then I believe the role of education as in enlightening them about the dangers of FGM.
Are there alternative rites of passage that communities can adopt to replace FGM? I mean, perhaps they still want to keep the essence of this practice intact. Are there other ways they can actually achieve this aside FGM?
Like the word alternative, is like, which other way? What do we do if this is not working? What do we do? And then rite of passage, is a social movement of people into or out of a group or statuses critically important to them as or a community. That is defining it in a sociological way.
Yes.
So with this, that definition is on the positive side, not on the negative side.
Okay.
So now, NGOs, they are trying their best to, alternative rite of passage to bring in. Although they are mimicking the, the traditional and then this rite, this barbaric, outside they don't include the cut, the harmful part of it. Rather, they bring in sexual and reproductive education, educating the girls, and then, encouraging female education.
Okay. Let's now look at some societies in, across the globe that have been able to successfully abandon FGM and what lessons we can learn from them.
I mentioned the Burkina Faso, Somalia, Egypt, and Kenya.
These are African countries.
These are African countries, which is really, where they yes. And then, just behind us here, Ebonyi State.
Oh, wow.
That community, Ohiasu community that Mr. Hart Okwa, that has really worked, and in his community, they have zero tolerance for FGM.
Amazing. So we can actually emulate that. I mean, from the West, we can go all the way to the East to learn one or two things on how they've been able to achieve the eradication of a female genital mutilation. And I'm sure, the Lagos State government and certainly will look into this practice. So how can men and boys be involved in the fight against genital mutilation? Because it's more of a women thing.
Men and boys can help in fighting this barbaric tradition by advocating for women strongly, especially in their community, that this is not right, and then creating awareness that this should be eradicated. It's not something that should be mentioned.
All right then. What challenges do activists face trying to end FGM, and how can these be overcome? Because I know that in some communities, activists would face resistance. But then, what are some of these challenges they actually face, and how do you think they can be, countered?
The challenges they face, the community leaders, they believe that this is a long-term practice by their forefathers, so it can be terminated in their time. So that is the problem. Activists first, and then if the government policies are stringent, so they won't have the right to stop the activists, and then there should be a rigorous awareness of this barbaric act.
Let's talk about the importance of laws and policies in combating FGM and what more can be done to enforce them.
Importance of law, because already this is trampling on the right of a woman. So there should be right to health, there should be right to the child, and then they should be right to be free from violence and discrimination.
All right, Lagos, you can be a part of a conversation. Of course, we still have about 13 more minutes on the program. 0809 91207777 or 0915 387 7127 is the number to call to be a part of the program this afternoon. You're wondering what we are talking about. Today, I am engaging Eno Nicholas on community engagement, changing cultural perception of female genital mutilation. And, as communities around the world strive to protect the rights and health of women and girls, it is vital to address deeply rooted cultural practices like female genital mutilation, right? While FGM is often seen as a tradition, it poses significant risks to physical, emotional, and psychological well-being. Of course, you heard Eno when she mentioned a couple of things earlier. As a matter of fact, it goes beyond all of these. Sometimes it results to death. Let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Elder.
Thank you very much.
How are you today, sir?
Not bad.
Very well.
How about my sister?
She's fine, thank you.
What I see in this issue is that the maternity centers, the clinics, and all big hospitals, let them involve them in this campaign against all these things. As some individuals grow up, they must be taught all this, what is happening.
Okay.
But if government fail to do this, they will still indulge in it. Get my advice?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elder. Thank you. All right, that was Elder Teogwadi there. He is a regular caller on the show, and I quite appreciate his contribution. As a matter of fact, with female genital mutilation, it is usually most of the time done to girls, right? And from his submission there, hospitals, health centers, should be involved, and that's quite thoughtful. I must commend Elder Teogwadi for that. You take your child for immunization, you take them for treatment at the hospital. Sometimes these nurses actually need to check, and if they check and they figure out that, okay, there is something wrong with the genitals, perhaps we can actually take it up from there. Thank you so much, Elder Teogwadi, for that. We still look forward to your call. You can be a part of the conversation this afternoon. 0915-387-7127 or 0809-9120-777. If you're not able to reach us via telephone call, you can send a text or a message to our WhatsApp platform. As a matter of fact, community engagement, education, and advocacy are really critical to achieving, the eradication of female genital mutilation. Let's talk about some steps individuals can take to support the global effort in ending FGM.
The steps is just one girl's cry is every woman's cry. So if we come together, share the thought, and then take action, before you know it, FGM will be a thing of the past. It's just everybody should be involved. It shouldn't be because it's not practiced in my community, what then is my business? As far as a girl is crying, it affects every other woman.
Well, in this part of the world, we like to mind our business a lot. As a matter of fact, if you don't even mind your business, I can outrightly tell you to mind your business. So how do you address that?
It's just like I said, sensitization. Try, talking, letting them understand the need for us to help this. Most of them, they don't really understand the impact of FGM. Most especially when they go out and start mingling with people outside, they tend to get this inferiority complex. They don't come out because I have been mutilated, so I cannot mix up. And we try just to talk to them, encourage them, talk to every woman you see. This is wrong. This is barbaric. We shouldn't allow it to continue. So by talking to ourselves, I think.
Let's get this clear now, because sometimes, things are evolving. Who knows? Is it reversible? Let's get it clear, because, we can be spiritual in this part of the world. What God cannot do does not. Is it reversible after the genitals have been taken out? Is it reversible?
It is not.
Absolutely. So, you heard it loud and clear there. It is not reversible. So it's not something you want to even go close to. It's not a case of, okay, if one person can change from one gender to the other, what stops me? Because we do a whole lot of wild thinking, right? We do wild thinking in this part of the world. But then there are some things are just more delicate than you actually think, right? So please, let's be mindful of all of these things. Again, the roads are looking very good. Let's see if we'll be able to accommodate one or two more calls before we wrap things up this afternoon. Again, 0915-387-7127 is the number to call. Now, aside from the role of a man and the boy, even as a father now, where is the place of a father in all of this? I'm trying to understand the rationale behind a man watching his godchild being mutilated.
Aside from the man, we should talk about the women as well.
Right.
Some mothers, they are even the ones pushing for their girl's child.
If you were mutilated, would you even have the child?
Then again, I just had a conversation with someone this afternoon, and then he was like telling me that a friend of his, a woman, she was actually mutilated, but she has 4 kids, girls.
Oops.
None of them has been mutilated.
Amazing.
And then again, as a mother, this is bad. You have every right to talk to your husband as a father that this is right. I know the psychological effects that I'm having because of this. So if the father does not agree, you can go to other channels and air your view. They are your children. You wouldn't want to see them in pains. So definitely, role of the parent, and then there are some fathers who wouldn't want to even hear it. So it's just, to talk to them, let them understand the devastating part of FGM.
All right. As we wrap this up this afternoon, what will be your final advice to our listeners?
My final advice is let us all work together to see how FGM can be eradicated.
All right. Let us all work together to see how female genital mutilation can be eradicated. Be it man, woman, boy, girl, health practitioner, whoever, wherever you are, you have to join this cause in ensuring that female genital mutilation comes to an end in our society. All right, this is where we wrap it up on today's edition of Safety Train. I have been speaking with Eno Nicholas. Yes, she is the Vice Chairman of Presidential Global Women Network Limited. That's a PGWN. And today we have discussed the community engagements, changing the cultural perceptions of FGM. Maximum thanks to Fayo Williams. We'll see you on Friday. I must also say a very big thank you to Afe John, the social media manager for this afternoon. Special thanks to Victor Terry. Our executive producer is Tayo Akonli. I remain Taiwo Barua. I will join you after the training schedule at 5.
The bombs, curves, screeches, and tacos won't stop the flow on Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Moving Lagos forward.
For me, 2012. Could just keep driving without information. Information about traffic for road. Information about waiting cause out. Hey, but now you read it. Traffic radio, now you read it. Information about traffic for road. Information about waiting cause out. You get better traffic manager with the give us and information. Tune in, John, Barashiti, Ojelo. Last time waka, inside Mirema. I might just back to this traffic FM. Now soon. Now. Tune into
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Moving Lagos forward.
Anti-safety is here. How are you guys doing today? Fine, anti-safety. Amazing. Today on 96.1 FM, we will be talking about air safety tips. What did I say? Air safety tips. Good. So how many of us has been in the aeroplane before?
Hi, Auntie. Hi.
Oh, Chike, you've been there?
Yes, anti-safety.
Good. I'm sure you would like to share the experience with us at the end of the class.
Yes, anti-safety.
Okay, our first tip on air safety tips today is wash and sanitize your hands before boarding the aeroplane. This is very important. And the second one is inform the crew ahead of time if you're traveling for the first time so that you'll be able to enjoy your trip. I'm sure you would love to enjoy your trip, right?
Yes, anti-safety.
Beautiful. So the third one is avoid tight clothes, and it's advisable to travel light so you can feel comfortable. All right?
Yes, anti-safety.
The fourth one is to avoid unnecessary movement during flights. Avoid what?
Unnecessary movements during flights.
That's good. So the fifth one and the last one for today is that you should inform the air crew if you usually have motion illness. Is that taken?
Yes, anti-safety.
So I'm very sure you understand what we have said today.
Yes, anti-safety.
Fantastic. So when next you want to travel, please ensure you remember all those tips and you'll be better for it, okay?
Yes, anti-safety.
Please clap for yourselves. Fantastic. See you in the next class. Enjoy your day.
This message is from Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM.
Mommy, remember you said you're going to buy me a new school bag?
Oh, Annie, darling, that's true. Don't worry, we'll stop at the next store to get it. Wait in the car, let me go get it.
Madam, don't tell me say you won't leave this pikin inside this motor come out too.
Abba, waiting up, I won't buy something.
Say you don't know say the pikin fit faint inside this motor or make them kidnap and come out. We don't see him before.
Any talk, come, let's go together.
My country people, una don't hear am. Make una know they leave small pikin alone for more to come out. Because the pikin body feel hot well. When feel lead to waiting Oyibo people ma dey call heat stroke and other yama sicknesses. Even accidents feel